As you know, the topic for this year's 7th WaCA is industry resilience to inspire and rethink winning strategies. I'm a very simple guy, and this has been a very serious conference so far. We've talked about compliance, we've talked about environmental matters. Yesterday, there was some other topics on some legalities, some legislation, and today we can talk about risk management, but let's not take ourselves too seriously. I'm not going to take myself too seriously. I hope you can enjoy this presentation with me. It's a complex subject, but hopefully I can make light of it. So, esteemed guests, ladies and gentlemen, what do the following things have in common? The world's largest bucket wheel reclaimer. The world's largest controlled slot fed. The world's largest floating warship. The world's longest bridge. For our environmental colleagues, the world's worst tailings dam failure. The world record for the highest blindfolded tightrope walk. One of the world's worst nuclear disasters, which resulted in the crash of the uranium price. And I'm not sure if you know this, but the world's most costly construction project in terms of human lives lost, in excess of 25,000 lives, the Panama Canal. What do they all have in common? All world records? Yes, but no. They are all examples of risk management which have either gotten very good or gone very bad, or non-existent at all. So the question that we are faced today is, why does risk management matter? I'm going to stand still today. I'm going to make light of a complex subject. I'm not going to talk about environmental risk, safety risk, compliance risk, regulatory risk, political risk. I'm going to talk about risk management in general, what it is not. And hopefully I can convince you on this theme of resilience and winning strategies, hopefully I can convince you and plant the seed that if we think differently and we apply a tool which is called scenario analysis, and we can apply it at our strategic level, and we can work it down to operational level, it might just assist us in our decision making. So we can make more robust decisions at both strategic level and operational. I'm not going to bore you with the theory of risk management. I'm not going to educate you and teach you how to do scenario planning. So I'm going to tell you what risk management is, what it is and what it is not. I'm going to make a case on why you need it. I'm going to try and persuade you to put scenario planning back into your toolkit. And I'm going to leave you with some industry trends which you should take back to your scenario plan. And you must ask yourself, have I been putting these trends into my future scenarios? Am I geared for that? So once again, it's a complex subject and I'm going to make light of it. Please enjoy it with me. Do not take myself and my presentation too seriously. Hope you enjoyed it with me. You all ready to go? Yeah. Let's go. So why does risk management matter today? The sun is shining. Who would have thought that a presenter like myself would bring along a water can? And who would have thought that he might even fire it at esteemed colleagues? But luckily, there's one person who brought an umbrella. So she was prepared for the unexpected. management methods today? For one thing, as we have demonstrated, we need to expect and embrace uncertainty. And we need to expect change. Because our ability to manage volatility and change will determine our survival. Why? Secondly, you need to work with a plan. If you want to navigate the waters of volatility and uncertainty, you need a plan according to which you work. If you operate without a plan, then you are the greatest risk to your organization. As the Deloitte survey has shown, mining companies today need to become much more risk intelligent in order to navigate the uncertain waters in which we are faced today, in which we operate. We need to develop response strategies to navigate these uncertainties. So why risk management? Why am I making such a big fuss of risk management? There are various reasons for risk management. But the question in your mind, is it the magic wand which will take away our problems, give us our answers, be the silver bullet to all our concerns? Well, as I said, the case that I'm trying to make today is that if you apply the paradigm of thinking of risk management, it might just assist you to be more strategically and operationally resilient, which is the theme for this conference this year. Winning strategies for resilience. So that is why you need risk management. Now the question in your mind is, well, what is risk management? More importantly, how should we think about risk management? Well, firstly, what you need to remember, risk management looks forward. Yes, it looks on historical trends, but fundamentally, it's a forward-looking discipline. Secondly, it's not arbitrary. It is very specific. It's objective-focused. Risk management as a discipline is across all levels of organization, not just leadership, so it's not just strategic, it's not just about safety risk on the ground, at the plant, in the mining operation, it's across all levels of the organization. Most importantly, it is coordinated, it is focused, and keep in mind that it looks to both sides. It looks to maximize opportunities, whilst at the same time minimizing threats. Future-focused, objective-based, it's coordinated, and it seeks to maximize the upside, minimize the downside. It's continuous. You can't do it once. You have to continuously doing it because we're in volatile waters. And if done properly, it should give you options which you need to evaluate. Some better, some not so good. And because we are from the mining world, the first thing that comes to mind, safety risk. Yes, risk management does include safety risk as well. And if you were a financial audience, you would think of insurance. Yes, it's financial risk management as well. It's much, much more than that. So staying on the theme of this conference, how can risk management then take us towards winning strategies and resilience? That is the question. How can risk management contribute Well, ladies and gentlemen, the case and the example that I want to leave you on a light note is the business that we're operating. We are stuck in traffic. We are going nowhere. So you need options, you need different routes to get to your objective. So therefore you need a tool to help you navigate. Without a tool to give you alternatives, and without knowing your objective, knowing what your destination is, you might just go down the wrong street. Either in ignorance or not. So where do you start? Where does risk management start? I think we've talked a lot this past day about leadership, and risk management starts with leadership. Leadership, establishing the mindset, entrenching the discipline, entrenching the thinking. But unfortunately, as we know, the leader must do much more than that. He needs to empower his team, and he needs to instill a culture. So if we say risk management is forward-looking, options generating, maximizing the upside, minimizing the downside, that thinking needs to be part of the company's culture. It needs to be part of the DNA. And it needs to be across all the levels of the organization, from the top to the bottom. It starts with leadership, but it does not end with leadership. So if you put it together, risk management starts by creating a risk-aware culture across the full organization, all the levels. But as I said, risk management itself as a discipline is structured, it's focused, yet it generates options. So that means you need to be structured, yet flexible, and focused. But being risk-aware does not mean being risk-averse. Being risk-aware does not mean being risk-seeking either. It means being structured in your thinking, disciplined in your activities, yet being flexible with lots of options. Flexible, balanced, focused. So, I've talked about why we need risk management. I've explained to you what it is and what it is not. So now I'm moving on to how we should do risk management. And more specifically, if it starts at leadership and it starts at strategic level, how do you need to execute it? How do you need to bring it down? Well, I'm of the opinion that you need a tool. You need a tool which has got its roots in risk management, which can generate options for you, which is forward-looking, which can give you positive potential upsides, show you the downsides, and it must be manageable right through all the levels of the organization. And as I said, I believe, and I'd like to remind you, that somewhere in your toolbox, somewhere in your organization, there's the tool called scenario planning. So why scenario analysis? Why do I believe scenario analysis holds the key to strategic resilience and better informed operational decision-making? Well, as the Deloitte survey shows, mining companies need to be flexible and adaptable. More importantly, we need to generate possible futures for ourselves. We need to contemplate futures, either positive or negative, in which we want to survive, given our strategic objectives. So why scenario planning? I believe, if done properly, scenario analysis has the capability to give you operational options at the bottom, which does speak to your strategic objectives. And it keeps you flexible for a range of potential futures. In terms of the traditional methods, the normative methods, scenario analysis is much further into the future, much more dynamic, much more out of the box. So how do you do it? As I said, this is not a course in scenario analysis. There's no shortage of data these days. We are blessed in a day where we've got lots of information, lots of data, lots of trends. So trend analysis takes us forward into the future. But scenario analysis takes us from those futures and it maps paths for us, routes of how those potential futures might play out. Whilst traditional risk management methods will give us an outcome with a probability, that might just be too inflexible. So yes, you have multiple scenarios, multiple probabilities, multiple futures. You might even group them. Political futures, technological futures, scenarios in which environmental aspects might play. But these scenarios are not mutually exclusive. They can all happen collectively. So you need to take all those futures and map them back. And map the route how those futures might come to realize. And if you seek commonalities, you apply discipline, and you identify the attributes of those routes, you might identify certain shared attributes. So from a capital investment perspective, your current day investments might be much more flexible to multiple futures if you take those criteria into consideration. So if you apply scenario planning, you work them back, you identify the commonalities, and you work them into your decision criteria, they might just give you better strategically informed, more robust decision-making enablement. There are books and books and books and methods about scenario planning, and you have to navigate it for yourself. But in layman's terms, very simplistically, it starts with knowing where do you want to be. What is your objective? As I said in the start, risk management is focused. You need to know what are your objectives. You need to gather the data, look at the trends, apply rigor, research those driving forces. You need to map them to the future, generate plausible, possible futures. You need to evaluate them. Then you need to systematically work them back. You need to identify those commonalities, attributes, triggers, and various states in the future, right down to the present. Then you need to build those attributes and decisions into your systems, your decision-making systems. Identify thresholds, trigger points, early warnings. Have them run your systems, in your systems. Monitor them. And then, as we said, repeat the cycle. It's not once off. So, I've told you a little bit about risk management. I've demonstrated that you need to expect the unexpected. I've told you that you need to have leadership instilled at the bottom, work it down. And I've made a case as to why scenario planning might just be the tool that you need to use. said, there's no shortage of data. So we've got lots of trends to work with. So to end off, I'd like to share some of the current trends in mining. And I have to be true to my own presentation. So I'm going to show you some positive trends, which you need to map into your positive futures. And I'm going to show you some negative trends, which you need to map into your negative futures. And then the question that I want to leave with you is, have you taken these trends into consideration in your scenarios? We as leaders definitely know these trends. I can promise you that. You will not be surprised by these trends. But the question is, have you mapped them with a rigorous process? And have you developed scenarios? And have you identified the triggers which will show you in the next 6 months, year, which of these futures is going to play out? So, if we look at the positive trends and opportunities, there are definite opportunities. We've talked about that yesterday and today, about governance. There are opportunities in governance and collaboration. All of you are WhatsApping and Facebooking and Twittering, so there are opportunities in social media. Communication. There are definite opportunities in energy. Our operations are becoming more and more remote. But increases in bandwidth, mobility, data, and even virtual imaging are opening up to us. Have we mapped high-tech scenarios at remote locations with increased communication? Have we mapped those multiple futures? Have we shared them with our partners? Have we drawn in local content and strategic sharing? And the mining business model can definitely go in for a revamp. There are opportunities in our asset management as well. So those are the positives. Those are the positive trends which we need to factor into our strategic future scenarios. But there are some negative trends as well. You all know them. Productivity, funding challenges, increased community expectations, a widening talent gap, climate change, definitely compliance, energy, regulatory, water, we've just had discussions on that, declining grades, and definitely our pipelines. So those are some of the negative trends. So I've talked today about what risk management is, why you need it, and I've left you a seed in your mind that you might just need to dust off that tool in your toolbox, which is called scenario planning. And that if you use it properly and you factor in current day trends, and you build future scenarios, that might just make your current decision making more resilient. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is me making light of a very complex subject. I hope you've enjoyed it. And the message that I want to leave you is we need to start thinking differently. For those of you who can't see, I'll read it. If mining companies want different outcomes to the issues they've been grappling with for years, they need a different approach to decision making. This may involve investing in new information systems, new technologies. It will almost certainly involve conducting more in-depth analysis to uncover unexpected trends, while attracting people to the industry who can contribute to diversity in thinking. I thank you.
Yeah, let's give him another round of applause. Said he will make light work of risk management. I think he has given us a very good clue as to where we should start and where we should end. And he has made a few minutes, so I'd like a few questions. Mr. Sechi's hand is up. Yes, please.
Thanks. I think that is a brilliant presentation and illustration, and that's wonderful. It's not as too difficult as when it is. So I think it's a great presentation. And the only question I want to find out is that ending your presentation, you said increasing compliance and regulatory regulations. Yeah, yes, but it's a risk. Is it because of cost, or what is it that makes it a risk to business?
Hello, can you? Depends on your viewpoint. It can be an opportunity.
Yes.
Definitely, it's an opportunity. But it also can be a threat to take you out of business. If you don't comply, you don't factor into your decision making. So it all depends.
Yes.
Yes, it's both. It's both a threat and both an opportunity.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, the gentleman there, please your name and where you from.
Yeah. I am Sikobi. I'm a member of the Association of Ghana Industries.
Okay.
From my background as an actuary, I appreciate wonderfully the presentation you've done. It was an excellent presentation. The pictures and the way you delivered the extempore, your gesturing, it means you've learned the skills of being a very good speaker. And thanks for that.
Content was acceptable.
Thanks for that. The question that I have is this. The very first 10 clips you showed, talking about what is common among all these things, I saw one thing that is common, that all these things happen on planet Earth. The second thing is that they affected humans directly. And it also had effects directly on the environment. My passion is for the environment, that we live in one complete world. We breathe the same air that circulates around. We use the same water that circulates around. So whatever affects one part of this earth has ripple effects on another part. Because of this, I think it is imperative that the interests that we have should be managed first in the interest of global safety. That we live at the time of, in the system, the stream of time, that we need to protect the environment that we all live in as a people. This is where I see that it puts a very daunting task on mining interests across the African continent, that we want to reduce the amount of carbon that is being produced. In spite of the political upheavals that certain political decisions have averse not to change the status quo on carbon emissions, I want to just make and reiterate one point, that let's put the global environmental safety at the peripheral, because whatever happens in one small area affects this whole globe. Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
I think it's not a question, it's a comment. So I'll take the last, because time is running. Last question. Wow, excellent presentation. Thank you, Eduan.